Hey guys, it's Bart Johnson here, and today we're going to find out if the new Aputure Fresnel 2X attached to the 300D can light the charcoal in my smoker. Let's find out.
Two hours later.
No, it can't. Hey guys, sorry about the clickbaity title and intro to this video, but today we are actually going to take a serious look at the new Aputure Fresnel 2X, which attaches to their COB lights. Before we get started, I do want to put the disclaimer out there that Aputure did send this over to me to check out. I'm not being paid for this review, and I get to say whatever I want, so we're going to go ahead and take a look. So the Aputure Fresnel 2X is their newest iteration of their Fresnel attachment for their COB lights. We're talking the 300D and the 120 series of lights, both the Mark I and Mark II series of those lights. It uses that standard Bowens S-mount connection that those lights use in order to attach to the fixtures. So this will work with any of those fixtures, or it can actually work with any other fixtures from any other companies that might use the Bowens S-mount mounting system. So this is a pretty versatile little thing. So the purpose of an attachment like this is to take your single source light here, the COB chip, and actually focus it using a Fresnel lens. So when this is attached, that light from that chip is being focused onto this Fresnel lens at the front, and you can shift that focus to either spot or flood your light, and particularly when you put it at spot, you're going to be increasing the intensity of that light as you're focusing it on a more concise area. Now we'll take a look at how well this does at focusing that light and increasing the intensity in just a minute. But first, this is not the first Fresnel attachment that Aputure has released. They did have a version 1, and we're going to pop this off and we're going to take a look at how this new 2X compares to the version 1 Fresnel attachment. So here in front of me, I have the original Fresnel mount, and next to it here, we have the new Fresnel 2X. Now, you can see that they're both the same kind of style with a cylinder sort of focusing the beam of light into these two Fresnel elements, but there are obviously some upgrades and improvements on the 2X over the version 1. If we flip the version 1 over, you can see that there's really not much to it. It was pretty much empty and then just go straight up to this Fresnel element. But if you take a look at the improvements to the 2X, it actually has an additional lens inside that's going to focus the light more directly onto this front Fresnel, allowing a lot less light to be wasted, and that's going to allow it to more efficiently utilize the output of your light and also increase that intensity. Aputure actually also states that this internal secondary lens is actually rated for temperatures of up to 150 degrees. So you may be able to utilize this with some traditional continuous light sources that aren't LED. Just make sure that they're not getting any hotter than 150 degrees or you risk damaging that internal lens. Taking a look at the actual front Fresnel elements, we can see a few differences between the version 1 and the 2X. We see that the outer diameter has remained the same. It's a 7-inch diameter, meaning that Aputure barn doors or any other barn doors that'll fit 7-inch diameters are going to work on both of these models. But we can see that the actual front element has increased in size a little bit. It has increased by 1 inch on the Fresnel 2X. Another change is the way that you actually focus these Fresnel lenses. So if we take a look at the version 1, it had this little knob on the side to lock and tighten it down. And then if you loosen this knob, you could just pull and extend this right here. And this had a focus beam range, it's marked on the side here, of 12 degrees all the way to 42 degrees. Now this mechanism was fine, but it's a little bit finicky and could definitely use some refining. So they have refined that in the 2X. If we take a look at the 2X, the body is obviously much larger, but what it does is it actually has this screw gear where if you rotate it, You can very precisely and very accurately go between flood and spot, and this one has close to the same range as the version 1. It's only 2 degrees different. This one goes all the way from a spot at 12 degrees all the way up to a flood of 40 degrees. I really like this new style, this sort of worm gear or screw gear for adjusting the focus and the spot and flood settings of the 2X. And the final thing I do want to note to you guys is a little bit about the build and the construction. So the version 1 is definitely much lighter than the 2X. Now they are both made of this composite plastic, so they're not metal, they're not super heavy, but the 2X is definitely a bit heavier and a little bit more robust. But the main difference in the body is going to be all of these openings and fins. On the version 1, these let a lot of light leak out, and you had a lot of spill, and you had to be really careful where you pointed this because you'd actually have a lot of light spilling backwards and out to the sides. If we take a look at the design of the new 2X, you can see that the sides of it are completely enclosed, so you're not going to get much light leak at all. There are some small ports right here, much smaller than they were on the version 1, and the majority of your venting for your heat is going to be here along the back. But again, this internal lens is making sure that most of your light is being focused straight forward onto that Fresnel element, and you're not going to have a ton of light leak coming out of it. Now we can obviously see that the original Fresnel and the Fresnel 2X look different and operate differently, but do they perform differently? Is the 2X actually better at focusing that light? And the short answer is yes. I did tests with the Aputure 300D using both of these mounts and found that there was a significant increase, especially at that full spot 12-degree setting. It actually increased from 6,005 lux at 3 meters all the way up to over 10,000 lux. Now, I of course also wanted to test them in their flood settings, so I went and did those tests on the 300D and got all the different values. You can see the flood values are roughly the same. Where you're getting the real increase is at that full spot. And then I also took my 120D, this is the Mark 1, not Mark 2, and did some measurements and got the output readings at full spot and full flood for both of them there. Now, if you guys are interested in those test results, I put all of them in a document. There's a link in the description down below, so you can check that out in more detail. So that's it for our look today at the Aputure Fresnel 2X. Now, is it powerful enough to focus a beam of light to light charcoal on fire and ignite other things? No, it's not. But is it an improvement over the version 1 in terms of getting you more output from your existing COB lights? Yes, it is. It is available now. I'll put some links down in the description for you guys. And of course, as an added Aputure bonus, it comes in an awesome little carrying case as well this time. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to go ahead and give it a like, and make sure you click subscribe down there for this channel so that you can be notified every time I have gear reviews, live hangouts, all sorts of stuff coming on the channel, because it's always a pleasure spending time with you guys. I will see you all in the next one.